Welcome to Well Body. I'm Renee, your host, and this is the podcast for everything your body needs as a woman to become healthier and fitter effortlessly. Here, we're all about feeling energized, beautiful, strong, and going from zero to thriving. Let's ditch the Fitspo diet culture once and for all and start living your best life with methods that actually make real lasting changes. It's time to embrace the journey to a well body holistically. Let's dive in together. Welcome back to the Well Body podcast, where we empower women to feel strong, vibrant, and connected to their bodies. I'm your host, Renee, and today we're talking about one of the most powerful tools that you can use to transform your health and confidence, and that is strength training, something I have so much passion and love for. If you've ever thought that strength training wasn't for you, it's because it seems intimidating or you've been worried about getting bulky, then this episode is for you. By the end of our time together, you'll understand why lifting weights is not only safe and empowering, but also essential for women at every single stage of their life. Okay, moving into the episode. I'm so excited about this episode because strength training is where it all started for me. I just love strength training so much. I've been a personal trainer for 12 years. I won PT of the year to 2024 this year, and my heart is exploding because I just love what I do so much, and I just feel so honored to be able to talk to you all today about why strength training is so important. I'm getting goosebumps. I know it sounds weird because it's just strength training, but I just believe in it so much, and I have seen it transform so many people's lives, and that's why I love it, and it's even transformed my own life. So let's start with why strength training is such a game changer for women. For too long, fitness for women has been focused on cardio or toning exercises, but strength training offers benefits that go way beyond the aesthetics, okay? And that's what I really want you to understand about strength training. It's like the brushing your teeth for your muscles, right? You brush your teeth every day without thinking about it. Strength training is one of those things you need to be doing weekly because it is so incredibly important for your overall health and well-being. Let's start with the most obvious reason as to why strength training is so important, and that is to build muscle and fat loss. This is the reason why a lot of people actually get into strength training, because when you lift weights, you build lean muscle mass. And the more muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate, meaning you burn more calories even when you're not exercising. So strength training helps you to lose fat and look more toned, not bulky. In order to be super bulky, you have to have quite a lot of body fat around your muscles. That's what gives you the bulky look. As a woman, you don't actually have enough testosterone in your body to look like a man, okay? Unless you're taking it or taking steroids. It takes a very long time to build up a solid foundation to be a super bulky woman. It's just not possible. And some people do have naturally higher testosterone, so probably do build more muscle than other women. But generally, if you're worried that strength training is going to make you look super bulky, it's generally because the muscle that your body has is surrounded by body fat. And when you lose more body fat, you look leaner, not bulky. So that's just to clear that up there. But that's the reason why most people get into it. But the second reason why we should be strength training, and this is my other favorite reason as to why we should be doing it, is because of our hormonal health. Strength training helps to balance your hormones. It can reduce cortisol, your stress hormone, improve insulin sensitivity, and even support better estrogen and progesterone balance, which is crucial for your menstrual cycle and overall well-being. It helps with your bone health, the third most important reason why we strength train. One of the biggest reasons why women should strength train is to protect their bones. Women are more prone to osteoporosis as we age, and I have clients that I work with in person that are dealing with osteoporosis, and strength training has been a freaking game changer for them, to the point where I've seen one of my clients' bone density results. She had a bone density test 2 years prior to training with me. We start strength training together 3 times a week. She comes to me 3 times a week no matter what. She's got a lot of things going on with her health, but she has transformed her life because she started strength training 3 times a week. Her osteoporosis in her spine is reduced, and I saw that physically on the results. When she came in one day and she goes, "You won't believe it," and she showed me her results from her bone density test, and I was in disbelief because it reduced, and I was like, this is just evidence that this stuff is so important for women no matter what age. And she started training with me at 67 years old. So You're never too old to lift a dumbbell, and lifting a dumbbell is going to massively reduce your risk of osteoporosis. And women are so predominantly more at risk of getting osteoporosis than men because of the loss of estrogen that we have when we go through that menopause phase in our lives. So lifting weights is going to not only strengthen your muscles, but it's going to strengthen your bones, which then reduces the risk of fractures. So if you're wondering what osteoporosis is a bone degenerative disease, like arthritis, but more severe. And what can happen is someone with severe osteoporosis could trip over, let's say, you know how you have like a door in your house and there's like that little bit you have to step over to come inside the house? Let's say they trip over that. They could fall and severely break their femur bone or their hips or their back because their bones are like butter. And so to prevent that from happening, lifting weights is going to strengthen your muscles, which is then going to strengthen the muscle on your bone, keeping your bones stronger. So don't just drink a glass of milk a day, okay? You need to be lifting those weights if you want to see a massive change in your bone density and in your bone health. And believe it or not, poor bone health will massively affect everything else in your body, okay? So another reason why strength training is so important. And the fourth one, which is, of course, a really important thing to mention, is the longevity and independence. Strength training is not just about looking good, it's about staying strong and independent as you age, okay? Being able to carry your own groceries, playing with your kids, running around with them, or getting up from the floor with ease, which I think a lot of people underestimate how hard that can get if you don't keep working at it. You, as an adult, you never want to be able to not sit on the floor and get up, and you never want to be able to not put your arms up straight above your head, okay? Those two things I'm always like to my clients. All right, can we sit on the floor? Let's make sure we can do that. Great. Can we put our hands up above our heads? Great. If we can't, we've got a lot of mobility work to do and we've got to get you strength training. And then we've got to stay on top of it and maintain it. So just to recap, why is it so important that strength training, that women start strength training and continue doing it? Because it's going to help you to build muscle, which eventually will help you with your fat loss. It's going to massively impact your hormonal health, balancing your hormones. It's going to massively help your bone health and prevent you from getting things like osteoporosis and arthritis as you age. And it's going to give you longevity and independence so that you don't have to depend on the people you love the most because you can't move. Okay? So we want to stay strong for all of those reasons. Now let's talk about the myths of strength training, because there are a lot of them out there, and I think we're seeing a lot of them more so on TikTok now because Pilates has made a massive kind of like swoop into everyone's feeds. And Pilates has its place. I even teach Pilates, mat Pilates. It is the salt and pepper to your workout. It is not the only thing you should be doing. Because you could do a Pilates session 3 times a week and you're focusing on just your abs and your glutes. That's great, but what about the rest of your body? When you strength train and you lift a load, you're doing that with multiple muscles. So when you're doing, let's say, a pull-up, for example, you're not just working the top part of your glute on repeat for 30 reps and 30 pulses. You're doing 10 solid pull-ups that involve you using your back muscles, your biceps, your abs, a whole lot of muscle groups involved in doing that exercise, which is going to help you get stronger more efficiently. Then once you've done that strength session where you've done your pull-ups, then you can go do your glutes and your abs and your bits and bobs in between. But strength training needs to be the priority. Right, here are the myths that I see a lot of women worrying about when it comes to strength training. So number one, I've already kind of touched on it, and that is, I'll get too bulky. Let's tackle the most common myth, the fear of getting bulky. The truth is, women don't produce enough testosterone to build large, bulky muscles unless they're intentionally training for it with specific programs and nutrition and the enhancement of drugs. Strength training will make you look sculpted and strong, not bulky. Remember that. I'm lifting this weight so I look sculpted and strong, not bulky. It is not possible. Number two, it's dangerous. Another myth is that strength training is dangerous or causes injuries. Like any form of exercise, it's safe when done correctly with the proper form and progression. In fact, you can actually prevent injuries by strengthening your joints, ligaments, and core. So if you do a squat with poor form and you go, oh yeah, I reckon I could go heavier, but you know your form's not that great, or you're unsure about your form, and then you go and put more weight on it and you do the heavier squat with poor form, yes, you're probably going to be likely to injure yourself. But if you're doing a squat with great form and then increasing the load, you are no way are you going to injure yourself unless you have an underlying injury that is triggered by that squat. But it's very unlikely if you've got really good form. So it's not dangerous. You've just obviously not been taught by someone who's very passionate about strength training like myself. I'm too old to start. Oh, this is the biggest myth in the book. No one is too old to start. Strength training is beneficial at any age. Studies even show that women in their 70s and 80s can build muscle and improve their strength with resistance training. You are never, ever too old to start. Like I said just before, I have a client who started training at 67, never having done the strength training that she's doing now before. And she's seeing incredible life-changing results. She's just turned 68. She's reduced the osteoporosis in her spine. She's out there mowing the lawns for 4 hours a week because she's got a big property. She's cleaning the gardens. She's gardening. She's running around doing all these things that before she used to struggle with. So it is okay to start at any age. My oldest clients are in their 70s. And I love that because they know how important strength training is no matter how old you are. And they are the most consistent, dedicated clients because they know how important it is for them at that age because they feel the differences in their age. And that's the difference, I think, is that when you're younger, you're kind of like, oh, I'll be fine. Everything will be all good. And then 10 years go by and you're like, holy shit, why am I feeling so different? I feel so weak. I feel fatigued. I'm feeling my hormones in my body more than I ever had. Oh, maybe I better start something. But they can kind of manage, so they still keep going without starting something. They get to 60 and they're like, everything has changed. Holy shit, everything has changed. Okay, is it too late? Some people will get into the mindset of, I'm old now. But you're not. You are not old at 60. You've got so much time ahead of you and you should be prioritizing and getting yourself into strength training ASAP so you can be back on that horse living your best life. So never too old to start. Okay, let's dive into the science of strength training. And I like to keep things simple on this podcast. We're not going to be diving into too much sciencey stuff because I want you to understand it. But here are the simplified science behind strength training for women. Hormonal benefits. So strength training stimulates the release of growth hormone, which is crucial for repairing tissues, burning fat, and maintaining youthful energy. It also improves your insulin sensitivity, helping to stabilize those blood sugar levels. So if you don't strength train, right, and you eat foods high in sugar or lots of ultra-processed foods, your body's going to find it really hard to process it. People with more lean body mass can actually metabolize sugar a lot more effectively than those who don't lift. And I'm not saying that's like your gateway to just fill your diet up full of ultra-processed foods, but you would have a better time actually eating those foods than someone who didn't. So another reason to lift weights, right? So that you can cope with the cake and eat it too when you're at a birthday party. Number 2 is cardiovascular benefits. So while we often associate cardio with heart health, strength training is just as effective. It improves your blood pressure, lowers the bad cholesterol, and boosts circulation. Oh, why would you not want to lift weights, right? In mental health, the most important reason why we show up for our session, even if life's busy and we can't be fucked. Our mental health. Strength training isn't just good for your body, it's amazing for your mind. It reduces anxiety, increases confidence, and has even been shown to decrease symptoms of depression. Another reason as to why lifting dumbbells is your new best friend. Okay? If I haven't convinced you to start strength training yet, then I don't know. I don't know what I need to do, but there is just so many amazing reasons as to why you should be strength training versus why you shouldn't be. So how can we get started into strength training? So start small. I say this with everything because if you want to start anything in life, the key is to start small and not overload your plate and try and do everything at once. Start small. If you're new to strength training, start with bodyweight exercises like squats, push-ups, and planks, and just focus on your form and getting those exercises looking good before you add weights. You've got to learn to crawl before you can walk in this strength training game, okay? Number 2 would be to build a routine. So aim for 2 to 3 strength training sessions per week. Consistency is key, and it's better to start small and build up than go all out and burn out, which a lot of people do. They go, oh, if I can't do 7 sessions a week, there's no point. Yes, there is a point. Even doing 1 strength session a week and then 2 the next week and then 1 the next week and then 2, whatever that looks like for you, is better than nothing at all. If you add that up over a year, that's huge. That's a massive amount of strength training you've done over a year that you wouldn't have done if you'd just gone, oh, if I can't do 7, there's no point doing anything at all. There is always a reason why you should be doing at least 1, okay? Start small and build up from there. Do not let yourself burn out. Number 3 is using progressive overload. So to get stronger, you need to challenge your muscles over time. So this means gradually increasing the weight you lift, the number of reps that you do, or the difficulty of the exercises. So if you've been doing push-ups on your knees for a while now, and you've been doing 15 of those push-ups on your knees, and you're like, oh, I can get through this 15. This is quite cruisy. Then you need to get on those toes, girlfriend, and you need to start doing your push-ups on your toes and pushing yourself till you can't do any more on your toes and then going back to your knees. If that's still not a possibility for you because you're worried about your depth, then do what you can on your toes just to see where you're at with that. Then go onto your knees and practice the rest of your reps and to get your depth. But I really encourage you to use progressive overload where you can. If you've done a plank for 30 seconds for a while now and you're like, this is easy, I could go longer, but the 30-second timer's up, so I'm just going to stop. Don't. Push yourself that extra 15 seconds, that extra 30 seconds, and make it a minute. If you've been doing bodyweight squats now and you're like, this is a breeze, I can squat do 20 squats without even flinching. Focus on your depth. Learn how to squat a little bit deeper. And once that gets easy body weight, add some weight. Add some more reps. Continue to make your strength training exercises harder gradually over time, okay? And then number 4 is, of course, you can work with a coach or follow a program. If you're unsure where to start, consider working with a coach, following a program. Following a program just takes the hardness out of you doing it, right? Takes the guesswork out is the word I'm looking for, and it will help you to stay on track. I love to follow a program. I write myself a program all the time. I go to a couple of my favorite classes at PowerFit Studios because it helps me to just not think for a little bit. And I know I'm getting the exercises I would have prescribed myself in my strength training session anyway. And then I'll do some sessions that I've tailored for myself based on certain things that I want to be doing. It doesn't need to be complicated though. Having a program is the best thing for anyone to do to stay on track with their strength training. Okay. So let's chat about, I've already spoken about one story, but I have so many incredible stories from clients that I've worked with over time, online and in person. And one of my clients told me that she'd never ever feel confident wearing a tank top. She'd never feel confident wearing light colored clothing, but now she loves showing off her toned arms. She's like, my arms have never felt so amazing and I love them. And I can now wear a tank top and I feel comfortable because my arms are stronger. I'm like, yeah, they are. You can thank your pull-ups, bent over rows and push-ups for that. And another client of mine said that strength training now helps her carry her toddler without back pain. And for those of you who have toddlers know how bloody clingy they can be and want you to pick them up all the time. So the fact that this client now has no back pain because she's followed a strength training program that I created for her at home has massively helped her with being able to do daily tasks with ease. Another client of mine said that after working together for a year on strength training and following a program, she said to me that walking up the stairs, she used to dread it because she'd be puffed, her legs would be on fire, and it was one of the hardest things for her to do. And she used to get anxiety about walking upstairs because of how it would make her feel. But after doing some strength training and getting stronger, she walks up those stairs with confidence and with ease and no longer has anxiety about walking upstairs. And it's the little things like that something like strength training can massively help you with and can massively impact your life in the most positive ways. So, as you can hear in my voice, I'm very passionate about getting people strength training because I've seen it with my own eyes on how it can transform someone from their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. But it's not just our bodies that it's changing physically, it's everything. It's what it does for your hormones. It's what it does to help you with metabolizing food. It's what it does to help your body to burn more energy. It's what it does to help you to sleep better. It's what it does to help you with your mental health. So if I haven't convinced you that strength training is the best thing you can be doing for your body, then listen to this podcast again, or go and find some more strength training podcasts to listen to, because there are a lot of us out there that are so passionate about this form of training. And to sum it all up, strength training is one of the best things you can do for your health. It boosts your metabolism, strengthens your bones, balances your hormones, and improves your mental health. It's not about lifting the heaviest weights. It's about being stronger and being a healthier version of yourself. And if you've been thinking about starting, then this is your sign. And I want you to know that you don't have to be an experienced lifter to start. You just have to reach out for help and start with the basics. And if you want a bit of guidance, check out my free strength training guide linked in the show notes, which is perfect for beginners. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave me a review, because it really helps more women find this podcast. And don't forget to share it with a friend who might need some strength training inspiration. Thank you for tuning into Well Body, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.